The Nintendo DS has a lot of interesting games released in the first few years of its life. I did a video on early DS games where I talk about 15 notable DS games that shaped the console, such as New Super Mario Bros., Kirby Canvas Curse, and Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. For this video, I want to talk about one of the most underrated DS games, one that got bashed by critics and gamers alike. That is Pac-Pix on the Nintendo DS. This game was developed by Namco and was shown off at E3 2004 as a tech demo for the Nintendo DS. In this game, you draw Pac-Man with the Nintendo DS stylus as you guide him to eat ghosts in different stages. It's a very simple concept, but hones true to Pac-Man's arcade game design, even to where the game has a ranking and score system, to where the higher points you get with combos eating ghosts, you get a higher ranking. I played Pac-Pix around 2021. This was around when I just wanted to play a bunch of the early DS games to kind of understand how the console went. This included Field of Magic, the Rub Rabbits, Dig Dug Digging Strike, and Pac-and-Roll. When I looked at Pac-Pix, I didn't know what I was expecting with the game. I looked at the cover, which is a drawing of Pac-Man in crayon, and it doesn't really catch your eye. And then when you go look at the reviews on like IGN, Metacritic, even Backlog, they're very low. It has around a 50% or so on Metacritic, and on Backlog, I believe it's around a 2.5, which is pretty bad considering that site has a lot of games that have done really well in the top hundreds with the DS. So when playing Pac-Pix, it makes me wonder, just playing it, like, wow, this game is pretty unique. It's a game that truly shows off what the Nintendo DS's dual screens, and especially the touchscreen, is capable of. And it's not just that it's simple. There's a little bit of complexity added to the game. Later on, you get bombs that you're able to use, along with arrows that are able to be drawn. And they create these little puzzles where you have to hit a switch, or light a candle, or do some other things that have you do more than just eating ghosts. You know, there's different ghost types as well, ones that are fast, ones that are slow, one that need bombs, and that sort of thing. And even then, there's even more genius in where how you draw Pac-Man. A small Pac-Man allows you to go faster, but it makes it harder to control. A bigger Pac-Man's bigger on the screen, but it's much slower to control. And the whole point is that you use these lines that you draw on the stylus to guide Pac-Man where he wants to go. And ideally, the way to get the best rank is to use one Pac-Man to keep on the entire screen so you can keep getting your score attack up. But there's also a time limit, so you want to eat all the ghosts within the time limit. If not, game over. So the best way to encourage Pac-Man in this score attack game is to draw a Pac-Man and continuously send him all around, send him on the top screen, the bottom screen, just to eat all the ghosts. You can multitask and draw multiple Pac-Man, but that's going to be harder to control, and it's also just going to make your score go down. More apparent than anything, this game evokes an early DS aesthetic, whereas the game has a unique art style and sound font of the DS's MIDI chip that makes it unlike anything ever seen. This game goes for like a canvas art style, kind of has like this little architect look to it, and it's really cute. It at least shows that the game is doing a little bit more that the GBA wasn't able to achieve. And its soundtrack is a very playful MIDI OST that has a lot of catchy remixes of Pac-Man tunes rearranged, and overall is a pleasant to listen to. And, you know, when I think of Pac-Pix, I think more than anything, I just think that this game doesn't really get enough credit for what it does. And I think it's just what it's doing. You're drawing Pac-Man, and the game's about an hour and a half, 2 hours long. That's all you're doing. So for a lot of gamers, they would see it as boring, repetitive, uninteresting. But to me, it especially evokes just that, at least at the time, you're paying like $30, $40, and that's all you're doing with Pac-Man on the DS. I believe it was one of the earliest titles from Namco, along with Ridge Racer DS and Mr. Driller Digging Strike. But, I think that with Pac-Pix, it's one of the most unique games out there. They didn't even do a mobile port of it, which would have been the perfect platform to bring Pac-Pix over. And I think that if you're on the hunt for a cheap DS game or just want something short to play on your R4 cart, I do recommend Pac-Pix. There's a lot there that's pretty fun to play with, and it's short enough where you can get it done in an afternoon. And then, unfortunately, it's just not in the discussion for DS best games list, which I don't think it deserves to be, but it definitely is deserving to be in underrated DS, hidden gem videos. Of course, there's the obvious ones like The World Ends With You, 999, Solitaire Robo, but I've never seen this game in those kind of videos. But I hope that with this video, it at least draws your interest to Pac-Pix, and maybe it could be your next favorite game to play. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and have a good rest of your day.